Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I have a new hair colour today. I decided to change my hair colour during lockdown just because I wanted a change, but I do actually quite like it, so let me know what you guys think in the comments below. So I released a video a little while back on my London College of Fashion portfolio and it proved quite popular. This is the video here if you're interested in watching it, but I have quite a few sketchbooks that I didn't show in the video and I found them recently. So basically these sketchbooks include a whole load of things to do with the modules that I was doing at the time. So it includes things like sketching, painting, fabric samples, fabric designs, fashion illustration, like a whole load of different things. So it's quite handy to look through sketchbooks from that time. Especially if you're applying for a course there, because it's the kind of things that they teach, so it would probably also be the kind of things that they're looking for when you're applying for university. So let's go ahead and have a look through the sketchbooks. So for my first sketchbook I got a level 2, which is the highest grade that I could have gotten in this sketchbook, so the grading at the time was level 2 or level 3. Okay, so I'm going to go through my first sketchbook here. So this was obviously a left-hand study. This image was great because we could print it off as many times as we wanted and draw a different outfit on it. So I have a reference image here. I've got some drawings that I used to do. These are just lots of different pictures. So we were practicing with the camera techniques here. We were practicing with some different styles of drawing here. In this one we were looking at some line studies of crickets and fish and dragonflies, probably for the teachers to see where we were at in terms of our skills in drawing, but also just to start getting in detail, seeing how much detail we can get in just a line study. So in this page I was looking at architecture. So I actually went into London and took some photos of some bridges, because at the time, if you have seen my fashion portfolio, you would know that one of my projects was bridges and mechanic architecture. At the time I hadn't kind of figured out what I was wanting to do, but I really liked drawing bridges, and these were just really quick tonal studies. So I actually brought this sketchbook into London and just sat on a bench and just drew them. And again, it doesn't matter if it's messy, it's just kind of getting it out as quick as I could. And then I was looking into fossils. The topic was organic versus mechanic. So I think obviously the mechanic was the architecture and the organic was, I was looking at shells and fossils and things like that. So I think I was trying to mix the two in there. This is some kind of fabric sample that probably went wrong, but also they like to just see you try, so that's the main thing. Even if it doesn't look great, just to show that you've tried is fine. This page I was looking at organic again, so I was looking more at rock formations and volcanoes, so just drawing that out and using some watercolour on this page. I think also some Sharpie just to create different texture and things like that. So this side I was looking at the storm again, the storm theme, and I tried, this is screwing up some paper and then maybe drawing a design, seeing how it would look on a design, and also trying different fabrics like silk to see what it would look like. So this side I was practicing with photography. So this is examples of fast shutter speed, slow shutter speed, perspective. What I would say is a really good purchase would be a digital camera, an SLR. They focused a lot on using your camera skills to either get source images, themes, photograph the fabric, to when you start to create an outfit, say you're doing design, to then photograph the design, whether it's on a mannequin or then eventually going into styling and having it on a model. So a digital SLR is a really good buy. I didn't have one before I started college and I just realised within the first few months that I really needed to get one. I also looked at things like shadows, silhouettes, rule of thirds. So this side was experimenting with light and shade, looking at different forms, where the shadow would lie on the face and things like that. Included a drawing again. This side I'm looking at texture, minimum depth of field. I loved using this kind of technique on a camera, so this is like aperture and everything, where it would be like really detailed in the foreground and blurry in the background, or the other way around. So this one I also have a bit more of my fashion design in this sketchbook. So I'm looking at darts here, what kind of darts I can use. So I've got the basic fly back, what the pattern pieces would look like, and the basic fly front, and then an example of what it would look like on a person as well as on the mannequin. I've got the same here for a basic straight skirt. So I did some photography on the other page, but obviously it's got people in it, so I don't want to show it too much. This was experimenting with darts, so I took some pictures of some dart experimentations and then kind of looked at how the pattern would look, where the bust line and the waistline would be. It's really good to show that you have a knowledge of design and pattern cutting. So on this page I experimented with drape, so I draped a fabric on a mannequin and kind of pinned it in different areas just to show that how different one side can be from the other. And then also did some sketching on this side. These were probably done like life drawings, so I probably would have drawn it as it was on the mannequin at the time. Here I'm looking at necklines. So I was really into this fashion designer. I literally can't even remember who it was now. She used like kind of lycra and then really changed up the neckline all the time. She had different necklines and I just loved it. So I was practicing it there. It's almost like a leotard kind of on the body, but the pattern pieces she used must have been incredible. So I drew some of those and what kind of styles that I thought might look nice, made them up. And just really simple illustration, as you can see, literally just a chin, eyes, and then going on with a neckline. They don't need loads and loads of detail, they just want to see that you can design and come up with ideas. Here I've got a page, I don't know if you can see it that well, but it's moving dots. So what we would do is we would have a pattern piece and then I would cut out the dots and then using masking tape relocate it, I suppose. So moving the dots around, and then the same looking at moving necklines and things like that. I've got the same with this page, so an example what the pattern piece would look like and then what it would actually look like down here, and the same with these two. This one I've actually got an example here that I made of a back and front collar, a bit like this one here, and I've just stuck it in, I suppose, just to show that I've done it. But yeah, you can put in fabric samples and garment samples if they can fit in there without making it really huge. This is looking at shoulders, shoulder seams, things like that. And this is like a garment, creating a garment by recycling two other garments. So that was an interesting project. I just bought like 2 different garments from a charity shop and then just kind of mixed them up to create a different kind of garment. Here I've done full circle skirt, so the pattern again, and some pictures of the skirt that I did, and here we're looking at pleats and godets. Here I did an experiment with pleats and the circular skirt. I really enjoyed doing this one actually. And then here on this side I've got designs inspired by the stand experiment on the opposite page. So basically just using this theme and then kind of switching it up, so still doing the pleats and the full circle skirt, but just using it in different ways. So I'm looking at seam details and the circle skirts here again, just finding images in magazines and cutting them out, things like that. Here I'm looking at the Northern Lights now. This is one of my themes, and I just did some drawings and sketches. And then obviously I did some kind of underground cave theme here. I just put the image in and then kind of extended it and then put some fabric samples there. That's a really nice drawing. I like the drawing I did there, and that's just this inside coastal cave in Chile. And I kind of just liked these little details here, so I drew them out here. This, looking at the Northern Lights again. These are some life drawings of some coastal caves, so I must have gone on holiday and drawn these or something like that. That's another one there, big cave. So yeah, photographs of caves I took on holiday. So this one, I think I went to Lanzarote actually, and they had some really cool underground caves here. So if you are on holiday, or just even if you're just out and about and you see pictures of things you like, take them and then you can put them in your sketchbooks later. And then this is just me deciding what I'm going to do for the project, so I put in the 2 themes that I wanted to do. And going on from that, obviously I decided to do the Northern Lights and the underground cave theme. So I created some outfits out of it, so I wanted to show you guys that. So basically what I did in each page was I included an image, and then I actually did some tie-dyeing on fabric just to see what it would look like and what colours would come out. And then I've got some designs here that I've basically decided it's chiffon and what the print might look like. So I've just used inspiration from the Northern Lights on this one. I think I just used watercolour. I drew out the design, then just used some watercolour to see what it would look like on some of the designs. The next page I've done jackets using the icicles from one of the cave themes. So these are just some designs I came up with those in mind, either using like necklines or seams or darts, or even just the shape of the jacket, and then kind of like a little description as to what I've done on each one and why, just in case the teacher can't see like what feature of it is linked with the reference image. So this page I've got some more outfits. This time it's based on this cave here and these kind of patterns here, which are kind of shown on this top there, if you can see it. Just showing you the design up close. So that top there is meant to look like some of the caves. I've then started looking at this underground cave and how I would use different fabrics to get the kind of design features out of there. So I've just kind of cut corduroy and made these little patterns just to create this kind of look. And then I've done some ideas using chiffon. You know, you don't have to just use the designs in the fabric, but you can use it in the necklines, or you can use it in the darts and the seams, in the silhouettes. Like, there's loads of different ways you can use your themes. So the next one I've looked at shape and design. This is like a reference image that I saw with splattering ink into water, and I thought it kind of gave some of the Northern Lights vibe, and then what it would look like in some outfits. So I'm using more like maybe the shape of the Northern Lights in this kind of theme. What kind of shapes? They've got some really cool shapes in this image here, and also in this image here, the way that the lights are shown. So I'm looking at the coastal caves theme again. So I'm looking at the shapes that were created in this water cave. So I picked up like different sections and tried to include that in these different themes here. And just if you're wondering, I think I used pro markers mainly in these designs. So have a look at pro markers if you're interested in this kind of look. So then I did some final presentation boards. So I did the fabric samples, the final image, and then a specification image. So I did about 3 or 4 of these because I wasn't quite sure which one I wanted to end up making. So I've got one there, I've also got this one here, and then I've got another one on the back here. So I ended up going with this outfit, which is really beautiful. I called it Elegant Storm. I did a specification image, I've got some fabric samples here, and then an illustration here, the kind of outfit that I'd want to do. This wasn't quite linked to this project, it was more linked to the Organic Mechanic project. So that's why it doesn't really go with this theme here. So for the other project I did do some final images here. This one's unfortunately got a bit water damaged. But this one I think I'm using just like the colours from the Northern Lights. Then I went on and created this one. There's a lace in here, and then obviously some kind of tie-dye skirt. This one I was obviously looking at wings as a design. I think that's why she's kind of got this design there, and then also going along the other side. And there's also a photo shoot I did with a friend, so I always include photo shoots and things like that. And then also a colour chart of the colours that I would use in this kind of outfit. And then I've got one here, again, it's got the Northern Lights in it, and then a photo that I took of a sort of sunset, and then also the colour chart again. And you can also include some fabric samples, things like that. I actually drew this on card and cut it out, so it kind of looks 3D in real life, which is quite cool. Again, I found the sketchbooks really random because I was quite used to making sure that every page was filled and that it was all neat and there was descriptions next to everything. That was kind of what it was like in high school and college. But in university, and especially in London College of Fashion, I found was a sketchbook is basically a sketchbook of ideas. It doesn't have to be perfect, It's literally just pages and pages full of your ideas, almost like a scrapbook. People could look through my sketchbook and be like, what is she going on about? But as long as I understand it, and as long as the teacher sees that I'm using those images and those drawings to create an outfit in the end of whatever I'm doing for the course, then that's what counts. And again, just to say, this is all in my opinion. So I did go to London College of Fashion quite a while ago now, and also the way they teach might kind of change. So take everything into account, take some of my ideas and check up with your tutors and friends just to check that what you're doing is the right thing. There's a lot of information online as well these days, so have a look on there and see what the current syllabus is like. This was for a portfolio course to get into fashion illustration, but it includes like a whole mixture of things, so it's a good kind of sketchbook to see. So thank you for watching. I've really enjoyed showing you my sketchbooks, and I hope that has also helped you guys out. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a like and hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you all soon with a new video. Bye guys!